Welcome back, beloveds. I'm Kayla, your host. I go by she, her, hers pronouns, and we are on day 6. We are heading into the last couple days of my open cart for my one-on-one program. And today, I wanted to start off by telling you a story. So you can sit back, relax, know that I'm not going to tell you about the program for a little bit, and you just get to enjoy one of my favorite stories. So, have you heard the story of Inanna? Inanna was an ancient Sumerian goddess or Mesopotamian goddess of war, love, and fertility. And her story goes a little something like this. So Inanna was revered by everyone around her. Everyone loved her. She was beautiful, but also radiated love and was the one that guided everyone in the community. And everyone looked up to her and really revered her. And one day, she started to get this call that she wasn't really sure at first what it was. She started to hear this voice. She wasn't entirely sure of where it was coming from. But the more she heard it, the more she started to realize it was from her sister, Ereshkigal, that was down in the underworld. And she was calling to Inanna saying that she needed help. And so Inanna started to prepare for a journey into the underworld. And she had many people come and give her things that she could wear as armor and take with her as items of protection and love for her. So she had all these different items and pieces of armor that she was going to bring with her into the underworld. And as she went down into the underworld, she had to pass through 7 gates. And at each gate, she was asked to take off another one of the pieces of clothing or items that she had brought with her that were there to help keep her safe. At each gate, she was asked, you need to take this off in order to move through. You need to give me this token that you have brought in order to move through. So when she reaches the final gate, she is bare and naked, and she goes to find her sister, Ereshkigal, finally. And when she finds Ereshkigal, who is the queen of the underworld, Ereshkigal actually kills her sister. And Inanna is dead and strung up on a meat hook on the wall. Now, before Inanna had left, she had left instructions with an advisor or someone that was close to her. And she said, if I am not back within 3 days, please come journey and find me. And so when her advisor has not seen or heard from her in 3 days, they go and talk to Inanna's father, who says, go and get her from the underworld. And so the interpretation that I have read says that they send 2 beings. They're neither male nor female. They're like androgynous beings down into the underworld to go find her. And so they follow the instructions to go find her, and they find Ereshkigal and they find Inanna dead. But they find Ereshkigal in heavy mourning, that she is rocking back and forth and moaning and crying, and they come up to her and she asks them, she tells them, "I will give you whatever you want." And they say, "All we want is Inanna back. We want her taken down from the wall and we want her back." And so she's taken down from the wall, and these two beings give her the food and drink of life, and she is revived. She is alive again, and they journey back up to the earth and heaven plane out of the underworld. And Inanna comes back, but she is not the same person. She is not the same goddess that she once was. She is humbled. She is wiser. She is knowing of the things that she needed to move through in order to get to where she is now. And so we see this story in so many different iterations throughout our media. One example of this, I mean, there's tons of examples of this in some shape or form, but one example could be Frozen, that, you know, the just calling, especially I would say, I think both of them, but especially Frozen 2, where there's like this calling that Elsa hears, this voice that Elsa hears that is drawing her to a journey that she needs to take. And, it's always the hero's journey, right? It's always something that they have to go through some trials and tribulations. And oftentimes there has to be some type of ego death in order to then be birthed into a new and to rise out and finish whatever they started. And a lot of times it's learning something about themselves that they needed in order to come into a place where they are now more whole. They are now wiser and more able to fulfill the destiny that they have. And so I love this story. The story has come up many times for me in different spaces that I have been in. And I just think that this represents so much the arc of what it looks like to go on a journey like this, to have to remove some of the armor that we have kept close to our hearts, close to our bodies to keep us safe. And it doesn't mean that that armor is bad in any shape or form. It just means that we have kept it there, and maybe at one point it served a purpose and now it no longer does. And so those gates represent these initiations of where we have to remove something that maybe we've been clinging on to that is preventing us from moving forward and claiming the thing that we want to claim. And we get to a place where maybe we feel really raw, really naked, like I don't have my comfort blankets anymore that were protecting me, but were also keeping me stuck. And then oftentimes we have to go through some type of ego death. We have to release the things that are no longer serving us and change the way that we think and believe and embody who we are in order to be able to have a rebirth and then ascend back into the realm that we are in as a new version of who we are. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think for yourself, if you were Inanna, what are the things that you have? What are, the handful of things? It doesn't necessarily have to be 7, but what are the handful of things that you have that you feel like you are clinging to that may have served a purpose at one point in time for you, but may no longer be something that you need to help keep you safe. And it's actually hindering you more than helping you at this point. What are those things that if you passed through the 7 gates of the underworld would need to be removed in order to really get into a place of I am fully whole in myself, or getting to a place where I'm stripped of any of the masks, any of the barriers between me and my my soul self. And then what do you think it would mean for you to die? Like what would that mean for you? Obviously, I'm not saying you would actually die, but what are the things that need to die or need to be let go of before you start your ascent back into the earth and heaven realm? And then who is the person that you want to be when you make it back to your home at the end of the journey? We may not know the lessons that we've learned, but we can think about what is the change that I want to see? What is the person that I want to become? What does that feel like? What does that look like? How does it feel in your body compared to where you're sitting or standing now? That is the road. That is the road that we are on. So, again, I tell this story because I think it gives a really good vision and blueprint for what it looks like to do any type of container like this. But this is particularly a sacred feminine story about a goddess's journey to claiming parts of herself that she didn't even really know that she needed to claim. She initially took this journey thinking she was going to help her sister, and then it ended up being a journey that she needed to take for herself. And so, what does it look like for you to take a journey for yourself? And as we say in the sacred feminine realm, virgin, the word virgin does not mean what we think it means in 2025 of somebody who has not had their first sexual experience with another person yet. It actually, in ancient times, meant a woman unto herself. And that's what I feel like Inanna becomes, is a woman unto herself, that she is no longer clinging to these things that she felt made her who she was. That, like her crown, her robe, all these things that were removed, even though she already was who she was and was beloved and had done so many amazing things. The way I interpret the story is that she still was clinging on to some of these things as like a symbol to prove that this is who she was. And she needed to remove those symbols and really get down to who am I without these things? Who am I without all my symbols of my regalness and my divinity? That I have to believe in these things for myself without the material object. So, what does that mean for you to become a woman unto yourself or a person unto yourself? And really, again, coming back to my mission, really reclaiming your pleasure, remembering your power, and coming home to your body. So, we are in the final hours of Early Bird. Early Bird discount closes today at noon Pacific time. So, if you are wanting to take this journey, if you are wanting to step into your goddess heroine journey through the underworld, I am here to be your guide. I am here to hold your hand through the hard parts, through the darkness, through the gates. We will do it together. And I will be the one to help you figure out what you need to rebirth yourself, and we will walk back into the light together as well. So, if you are wanting to take that journey for yourself, again, there's $500 off the full price. The core coaching option is, again, 8 weeks, but you're getting a bonus week. So it's really 9 weeks. And it's $500 off, $2,999 for the core coaching. It's $500 off, $4,999 for the VIP option. Again, within those 8 weeks, it's 6 weeks of teaching sessions. Again, those 6 things that we are going over is the gathering of the threads. We're going to be talking all about what your personal history has been with sex and intimacy, what your belief systems are, what experiences you've had, and how that has shaped you so far, and then where we want to go. Then we are going to be unraveling the knots or untangling the knots. We are going to be talking about your relationship to your own body that we've been taught to live from the neck up. And so then we are going to be talking about your relationship to your own body and how to really come into your body and start to reconnect and create a more positive experience to your body. And then we are going to start spinning the golden thread, and that means mapping your body's pleasure. We're going to start really talking about your anatomy and how we can make the most pleasure out of what you have on your body and in your body. It's so important for you to actually know what your anatomy is and what it looks like and how to use it to its fullest extent. Then we go into weaving desire and self-pleasure. So we're going to talk about the different types of desire and how to create a context that helps you get into your desire and fuel your desire, and all the different aspects of like what it means to like set the stage and initiate sexual experiences. Then we're going to come back again to the body and talk about embroidering the mind and body tapestry. So we're going to come back and talk about again the connection between your mind and your body, how to soften into your body, how to work on being present with yourself in the present moment with your partner as well, getting out of our heads and into our bodies and addressing any barriers that we have in doing that. And then we go into what is called guarding the loom, and that is talking about consent and talking about holding boundaries and what it looks like to be a giver as well as a receiver, and really having a sacred yes and a sacred no so that we are always staying in integrity with ourselves. So those are the 6 sessions. You then get 2 integrated integration sessions, one in the middle of those 6 sessions and then one at the end. And if again, you decide through the bonuses you want an extra integration session, that's available. We can also do a closing ritual session to kind of mark the ending of your journey and bring it to a close. Again, depending on how many people I have, we could do that either individually or as a group if people are wanting to do it as a group. And then for the VIP option, which again, the VIP upgrade is all of this, plus you get voice and text support Monday through Friday with me in between those sessions. So I'm always like in your pocket and available for any questions or things that come up that you need to just process really quick with me. So that's the upgrade for that. And then the VIP option has the option of doing an extra week of text and voice support as your bonus. So those are the bonuses that you have to pick from. And then if you are paying in full, then you get 15% off at checkout on the add-ons if you want to do an add-on. I have monthly ongoing support for $750 a month. That is 2 75-minute sessions in that month that are just, again, extra integration sessions. And then I also have a partner experience container that is an add on. So that is 4 sessions in a month for you and your partner. So once you go through this whole container, then you get to start to build the bridge between what your work was and what you want to experience with your partner. So we start to really hone in on the relationship and start to understand like what things we need to tweak in the relationship so that you can have the pleasure and sexual experiences that you want to have in your relationship. So that is $14.99. And again, both of those are 15% off at checkout if you purchase it with your coaching package. Again, no more consultations. Those have been closed. So if you have any questions, please email me. You can email me. My email is Kayla at connectedpleasurecoaching.com. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I'm very excited to start this journey with anyone that really feels called into this work. We are going to have a lot of fun together. So, again, early bird closes today at noon Pacific time. So, this is your very last chance for that. And then the full, shebang, everything closes tomorrow, Sunday, the 12th at midnight. So, tomorrow is the last day to buy anything in the container. Oh, I forgot to mention that there are the 2 4-month payment plans. So the core coaching has the 4 monthly payments of $750, and then the VIP coaching package has the 4 monthly payments of $1250. So that's also available if you need another way of paying. So yes, all containers are closing or everything is closing at the end of the day tomorrow. So get your early bird today before noon, and then if you miss that, then you still have another day and a half before everything closes. So, again, if you need anything, please reach out to me. Otherwise, I will talk to you in the next one.